Would you ever take advice? Would you ever ask? Would you ever ask?
Well, I think if you've got that kind of relationship, like I think me and Shane have got a really good relationship now. You know, obviously in the early stages you don't, and it's all very raw and all of that. But I think we've got kind of a nice relationship now where, yeah, absolutely, if he phoned me up for advice, I'm sure he wouldn't, but if he did, absolutely, and I would with him, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And sometimes it's a good way of maybe
building a little bridge,
and learning.
Is there anything that you would ask him about, you know, ask his advice on?
That's thrown me a bit, that, Andrea, to be honest.
Well, no, the reason I ask is obviously, you know, Steve was a builder, so if I was having building work done, I would ring him and say, look, I've had a quote for this amount, what do you think, does that sound about right?
What
and I
cheap
would trust
DIY
him.
advice? You'd ring him up and say how to put my shelves up.
No, if I was having proper building work done, just to make sure that, you know, am I going along the right way? Because that's what he does. So I would trust his advice on that.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't ask. Well, no.
You've got a few to choose from.
So have you. No, you're joking. No, I don't think I really would. I'd let them ask me advice. I'm really good at giving advice, but I'm not very good at taking my own advice. But no, I don't really know. Like, imagine we call in Pete for advice, like... Oh, I actually don't know what he would say.
If you've got
if it's about the kids, maybe,
yeah, obviously.
With the kids, yeah, but
if you've got a good relationship with your ex, and say maybe you've just met someone, or you're in a relationship and it's going a bit out of your control, do you not think it's good to be able to say to your ex, I don't know where I'm going wrong, and then listen to him to go...
No, because they'll probably moan at me and say, well, this is what you was like to me, so that's I can see where he's coming from then. That'd probably be
but then wouldn't you take that away and go, oh, actually, you know what, maybe I am a bit like that, and I mean,
I can't change who I am. You know,
no, but you can.
Well, I can't. This is the things they could probably complain about with me. I'm always
very
late.
Stubborn.
Always right.
Do you think?
Yeah.
So I am always late, and I'm 38, and you just can't change the way I am. I am always on time for here, actually, only because the car picks me up. I'm very impulsive, too impulsive, and I always want the last word.
No.
I would say that's for me.
I've only had one divorce, Katie. Only just one.
I've had two, yeah. Rub it in, Gloria.
It doesn't have to be marriages, could just be ex-partners.
No, I know that, but I was just going to say that when I did get divorced, my solicitor said, look, you'll never put a bin lid on 19 years of marriage, so you always have to keep the communication line open when you have children, because there'll be births, deaths and marriages. And that was a very good piece of advice. And although my former husband was in Northern Ireland and I was over here, nevertheless, when he came over to visit the children, and it's right, when you talk about children, I think if you share children, then there are times that you do ask each other's advice, whether it's about university or, you know, careers or whatever. And I think it's a good idea. And I do think it's a good idea to try and keep that communication line open.
Well, I kept the line of communication open because obviously we were doing this topic today. I actually rang Steve.
Your smile.
I know, it was actually such a funny conversation that I never thought I would have. And to be fair, Steve, you were brilliant. He was really, really good about it. And I just said, you know, we're doing this topic at work, and, you know, if I could ask you, is there anything about me that maybe I should change, you know, moving forward? Bring, there's the list. How long have we got? OK, the bad things about me. Lateness, time management, what was it? Because we spoke as well. Andy texted me, he said, sitting around waiting for you to get your in gear as we were walking out the door. That hasn't changed. I'm still like that. Bit selfish, thinking about work a lot, get my work-home life balance. I didn't get that right. OK, take that on the chin. I'm a bit picky, impatient. And he said, with just putting the lid on the toothpaste, that sort of thing, I'm still like that. I still don't like that. He's also put trying to...
Would it make you change, though? No.
Well, obviously
I still don't like it when people put the lid on the toothpaste, right.
Yeah, but you go off on one. Would it not make you think, oh, it's not the end of the world, I'll just put
No, well, he's put, don't stress the small stuff. And he's right, actually, don't. He's also put, trying to hit me with a saucepan. I don't remember that. I'm very sorry I tried to hit you with a saucepan. And this was funny. Constant preening, hair, nails, face, etc., like a demented budgerigar.
That's a good one.
It was very funny. You know, I take that on the chin. I do take that on the chin.
Yeah, I know you take that on the chin, but would you follow his advice now? That's what I'm saying. There's no point going to advice if you're not going to listen to it and just...
Yeah, I do. And I try and fail with a timekeeping.
Well, I did the same thing. I text Shane this morning, and obviously he's still writing the list because he never got back to me.
But you know, can I admit what I did? I also, obviously, we were asking about things that we would change about ourselves. I was really cheeky and I said, now name 4 things that are really good about me. That was great, just to have. So thank you. That's good to know.
Yeah, she
I'm
didn't
also a
need to
great
ask
mum.
him that.
Yeah,
I was
that
going,
wasn't
that
part of the
isn't
thing. I
topic.
just wanted to know.
For more Loose Women action, click here. And I'd subscribe if I were you. It's totally free and it means you'll be kept up to date with new videos and exclusive YouTube content.